Hey guys, welcome back to Time Machine Scale Models. You know, from time to time, I field the question on what glues that I use for my model building. And it doesn't matter whether it's a new person entering the hobby or someone that's been around for a little while that are set in their ways and maybe use tester cement. I always get asked the question, what glues do I use and what purpose do they serve? So I have a few of the ones that I use before you. And we're going to talk about each and every one, and I'm going to demonstrate some of their uses. So just like if you walk down the aisle at any home improvement center, you see a lot of different glues and adhesives for all different purposes. The same holds true for model building. Not one adhesive suits all purposes. So in a couple seconds, I'm going to start demonstrating how I use some of these. Now, for some of you folks that have been around for a really long time, this is old hat for you. This video is probably not for you, but for those that are just entering the hobby possibly, or been set in your ways and only using tester cement or super glue or whatever you're using, you might want to stick around and watch this. It might help you improve your building style. Stick around. Okay, the first two glues that I'm going to talk about are liquid cements. On the left here we have the Tamiya Extra Thin Cement, and we have the Mr. Cement S that you could pick up at Hobby Lobby. Both of these are cement, not unlike Tester's Tube Glue. Tester's Tube Glue is also cement, it's just thicker. And the way that these are used is that they melt and weld together the plastic parts. They're best used on bare styrene. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how to use this liquid cement really quick. Okay, I'm going to take this Pontiac block here and I'm going to glue this together. Now, they're best used using what they refer to as capillary action. So basically you brush this on the seams and it runs into the seams and it welds it together. Also, what's good about this stuff is if you hit it when it's still soft, you can actually sand these seams smooth and you can make them virtually disappear. You want to hold these together for a couple seconds, pinching them together. And after a few seconds, they'll weld themselves together and they will stay put. Now, if you want to use a clamp or something, that might be a good thing. I'll just clamp these together. Right? Now, these are not meant to use on painted and plated parts. They're also not going to hold. If you brush this on some plastic, okay, if you brush this on some plastic and you try to affix a part and it's plated or painted, it's not going to adhere. It may stick for a couple seconds or whatever, but as soon as you move that part or put pressure on that part, it's going to come off. So their best use is on bare styrene. The next common glue that I see used is CA glue, whether it be something like Loctite or Gorilla Glue or Extreme Power, which is bought at Hobby Lobby. CA glue is very common in the hobby. We use CA glue with an Insaset activator, also known as a kicker. Okay, and the way that you use these is you dole some out in a little petri dish. Don't mind my fat arms. You scrape some up on a toothpick or another type of applicator, and then you put it in joints where you want to join them together. Okay, pinholes, wherever you want to. Join the two parts together, pinch together, and with the use of an activator, you let that set for a couple seconds and your parts will be put together. Okay? Now, with these, you can use them on painted parts and plated parts. Okay? And they will stick, they will hold. All right? Now, be warned, when you use a kicker, activator, Instaset, whatever you want to call this, it will make paint run. It will soften paint. So your best bet is to wait to let it dry, or blow dry it really quick before touching it or proceeding, because this will ruin your paint. Okay? Now, especially metallics. It seems to make metallics run like immediately. So be aware of that. The next glues that I'd like to talk about are the evergreen canopy glue, your typical white Elmer's glue, and your Mod Podge. Now, we use these on clear parts for windows, headlights, etc. But there's also other uses for them. Now, I have seen people assemble complete models with canopy glue. I don't recommend it, but it can be done. School glue has several uses, not only for clear parts, but also for the process of weathering, which is a totally different topic and for another day, I guess, and Mod Podge. I was introduced to Mod Podge a few years ago, and I had been using my super glue on clear parts. And the risk that you run with using super glue or model cement on your clear parts is that it can haze the windows. Nobody wants hazy windows, right? And it's hard to get rid of that once you get it. So I was introduced to Mod Podge and I started using that. So let me show you how I use canopy glue and Mod Podge. Are used in very much the same way, including white glue or the clear school glue that you guys see every once in a while. So we're going to take this old 70 Chevelle body and the glass that comes with it. And what I do is I just go ahead and put the windows where they need to go, okay? And for this purpose, tape them in place, make sure they're where you want them, and they're not going to move, okay? Doesn't really matter, it's a junk body, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Alright, that looks good enough, right? Alright. So then you're going to take, I'm going to take my canopy glue. It really doesn't matter whether it's Mod Podge or canopy glue, or the school glue right there. You're going to put some in your Petri dish, and you're going to apply it where the glass is making contact with the body. Okay. Now the good thing about these glues is that if you make a mistake, if you get a fingerprint on the glass, if it runs onto the glass in any way, you could take a paper towel dampened with some warm water and you can remove it. Okay, so you get my drift on how this works. You can go around the whole window. See how I got some here? Well, that's out of sight, out of mind. But if you want to remove that, the best way to remove it is a warm, wet paper towel. Okay, then what I do is once I'm satisfied that I have enough glue in the joints and that it's going to dry up just fine, I leave it set. I leave it set. Okay? I leave it taped, I leave it set. You'll know when this is dry. Okay? And that's how we use that glue. So guys, like I said, there are different glues for different applications. And I hate to see people struggle, but when people say, oh, this glue and that glue, it doesn't work and it's crap and it's all that, the first thing you got to ask yourself, are you using a skill saw to hammer a nail? Use the right tools and equipment to do the job, guys. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got for you. Have a nice day.